When you think of the United States of America, what comes to mind? Maybe it's towering skyscrapers or sprawling, wide-open nature, Hollywood blockbusters, or Silicon Valley breakthroughs. But what really holds all of that together? And what makes it such a global force? Well, today we're going to break it all down. So that's the big question, right? What are the ingredients that actually create a global superpower? Is it all about military might, economic strength? Or is it something a little less tangible? We're going to dive into all of it, looking at the land, the people, and the core ideas that really define the USA. You know, to really get a feel for America, you have to start with its symbols. And maybe the most famous one of all is the Statue of Liberty. Now, fun fact, it was actually a gift from France, but over time, it's become this universal emblem of freedom. For generations of immigrants, it was the very first thing they saw arriving by sea. America has always looked towards the next frontier. And nothing captures that ambition quite like NASA. I mean, they didn't just put a man on the moon. That whole endeavor fueled a massive technological revolution, and just as importantly, it captured the world's imagination. And that is a powerful form of global influence. And then, of course, there's Hollywood. It's so much more than just movies, right? It's genuinely one of America's most powerful exports. It beams American ideals, language, and culture to every single corner of the globe, making it a key part of what people call soft power. Okay, so what are the concrete pillars that define this superpower? And just so we're all on the same page, when we say America, we're really focusing in on the United States. So let's start by breaking down the core elements of its influence.
See, American power isn't built on just one thing, but on this incredible combination of factors. Its massive economy, for example, fuels its military. Its leadership in technology, which comes from its top universities, powers both of those. And then you have its cultural dominance through things like Hollywood and sports, which projects its influence all over the world. It's this interconnected web of power that really defines its superpower status.
Now, you can't really understand America without getting a handle on its sheer physical scale. And this isn't just about geography class. This vastness has been absolutely fundamental to its economic self-sufficiency and its unique culture. We're talking 9.8 million square kilometers. It's honestly hard to wrap your head around just how vast that is. To put it in perspective, you could fit most of Europe inside the borders of the United States. This continental scale gives it an incredible diversity of resources, everything from fertile farmland to rich mineral deposits. All that size puts it third in the world in both land area and population. And that's a huge deal because it doesn't just provide a ton of natural resources, it also creates this massive internal market, which has historically helped protect its economy from global downturns. And with all that size, you get some pretty dramatic extremes. The highest point, Denali in Alaska, soars over 20,000 feet high. Meanwhile, the lowest point, Badwater Basin in California's Death Valley, sits almost 300 feet below sea level. It's a land of incredible contrasts. This massive span isn't just a geographical fact. It literally affects daily life. The country is so wide that it covers 6 different time zones. That means when people in New York are finishing up their lunch, people in Hawaii are just waking up. It's a logistical reality that shapes everything from business to broadcasting. Okay, so we've seen the land. But what about the people who live there? Let's turn to the portrait of the American nation itself. So here's a quick snapshot. With nearly 350 million citizens, it's a massively diverse country. While English is the main language you'll hear, hundreds of other languages are spoken every day. And even though Christianity is the most common faith, there's a constitutional separation of church and state, which has fostered a ton of religious diversity. And the idea of compulsory education is central, all aimed at creating an informed population. At the very heart of the American identity is this ideal of individualism. And it's all wrapped up in the concept of the American dream. This is the belief, rooted right in the nation's founding, that your station in life isn't fixed at birth. It's this powerful idea of self-reliance that continues to draw people from all over the world. Now let's look at the machinery that actually runs the nation, its economic and political systems, and of course, the symbols that represent them. The engine of America's power is what's called a mixed economy. So while it's famous for its capitalist spirit of free markets and innovation, the government is also deeply involved. It regulates industries, provides social safety nets like Social Security, and invests a ton of money in everything from highways to scientific research. This blend of private enterprise and public oversight is, well, a constant source of political debate. And just like its economy, America's identity is represented by some incredibly powerful national symbols. The most visible of these, of course, is the flag, often called the Stars and Stripes. It's almost like a living document, visually telling the story of the nation's growth.
Every single element has a meaning. The 13 stripes, those represent the original colonies that rebelled against Britain. The 50 stars, they stand for the 50 states that make up the country today. And the colors themselves are symbolic. Red for valor, white for purity, and blue for justice and perseverance.
The other key symbol is the Great Seal, which you'll find on official documents and all over the currency. Its central figure is the bald eagle, a bird unique to North America that was chosen for its majesty and its strength. And the seal is just packed with meaning. In one talon, the eagle holds an olive branch, symbolizing peace. In the other, it holds arrows for defense. But maybe the most important detail is the motto held in its beak, E pluribus unum. It's Latin for out of many, one. I mean, that single phrase basically sums up the entire American experiment. The constant challenge of forging a single nation from a ton of diverse states, people, and ideas. All right, finally, let's take a quick look at how these contrasts play out on the ground. From dense, packed cities to vast open wilderness, the American experience is really defined by its extremes. We have to start in New York City. It's the ultimate metropolis, a global center for finance, fashion, and culture. It really embodies that fast-paced, high-energy, ambitious spirit of urban America. And then you have the complete opposite, Yellowstone, the world's very first national park. It's a sprawling wilderness of geysers, hot springs, and incredible wildlife. And this represents another core American value, the idea of preserving natural, wild spaces for everyone to enjoy. So you end up with a nation of contrasts, right? It's a superpower of immense wealth and influence, a culture that champions the individual yet always strives for unity, a landscape of concrete jungles, and completely untouched wilderness. This balance of powerful, often competing forces has defined its past. The real question is, how will it shape its future?